addiction. Running a bit late today because my son would not go to sleep. Single mum life. So tonight's topic is go where you wanted. And just to let you know who I am, if you're new to the channel, my name's Ashley. I'm a therapist. I specialise in addiction and trauma and childhood and pretty much any problem. I've overcame addiction, which gives us, I think, the right to be sitting here talking to you guys and giving you tips and tricks. I've also studied addiction right up to PhD level, and I've also known what it's like to have loved ones who have addiction and the struggle that is, because it's really hard dynamic. Addiction is just hard, guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So tonight is go where you wanted. So I've been thinking a lot about this idea of it's really important that wherever we are, that it's the right environment for us. So if we are in an environment where we don't feel like we fit in, we don't feel like we can be our authentic selves, we feel like there's a misalignment, then we're not going to thrive. Whether that's our workplace, whether it's our romantic relationships, whether it's our friendships, whether it's what the field that we're studying, whether it's just anything. We need to feel like we're with our tribe. And the thing with shame and shrinking yourself is that is based on a shame response, which is a survival response. So initially, if we're going back to our ancestors, we're born into a little tribe and we need to fit in. But we have such a great luxury where we have like a worldwide tribe. We can move about for the first time in our life. Like I've moved to so many different cities. There's so many more opportunities and jobs. So I think we stick in this survival response, which is I need to fit in with the tribe that I'm with. And that's not true. We've got such a luxury, but it's quite hard to go and find our tribes if we feel like we've got to stay small. And one of the best ways to do that is learn who you are. And you can do this before you stop your addiction. You can learn who you are, and then you can think about, okay, now I'm learning who I am, what my values are, what I enjoy, my strengths, I'm scaffolding my weaknesses. Then I can decide where's my tribe. You guys are my tribe. A lot of people can't be asked to listen to us. You just keep turning up. So yeah, go where you wanted. It's so good for you, because if you're around people who are like-minded, they're going to get you. You're going to get them, and life's going to feel so much better. And if you're in a job that's aligned with your world views and how you see the world, you're just going to thrive in it. So yeah, let's see what people are saying. Hi, Cormac, how you doing? It's nice to see you again. Jay, hi Ashley and everyone here in North Dakota in the US. Hi to North Dakota, I'm in Newcastle. Cormac, how to get addicted to studying. So pick something you enjoy. So pick something you enjoy, and if you enjoy it, you're gonna want to do well. If it's about sitting down and committing to something, the boring side of stuff, then hijack your dopamine reward center. So this is for anything. If you want to do something and it's boring, try and make it fun for yourself. So you can set yourself tasks like, I'm going to see if I can read 10 papers by this point, or I'm going to study something you enjoy studying, try and link it into something that you enjoy. Have little wins. If I do this, I'm going to get that. So hijack your reward system. Hi, Attorney Secure Rocker. How are you? Do you live near Byker Grove? I used to live right next to Byker. I don't know where Byker Grove is, though. I think that was just a TV programme. Hi, Scarphelia. How you doing? Nice to see you again. The Elixir. How to get rid of smoking. Any opinions? Oh, it's a friggin' tough one, that. It's my next thing, next addiction to get rid of. I've tried a few times. One of the things with addiction is you've got to realise the purpose of it. So for me, smoking is a way of regulating my nervous system. So I've had to learn to regulate my nervous system. I think I'm ready to take it out. I'm going to tackle it with my next addiction group. So yeah, work out what purpose it's serving, and then try and think about, okay, so for me, regulating my nervous system, I like to have one when I'm stressed. It's connection. I like to have a tab with my friends. I started smoking at school to fit in. I thought it was cool. Hated it. I hated my first talk of my cigarette. I thought, this is disgusting. but it made us feel connected. So find new ways to be connected and find ways to regulate yourself when you're stressed. And I would do that first, and then it's going to be easier to take the crutch away, because an addiction's a crutch. My Auntie Sue, though, she stopped smoking, and she said she used to identify with a smoker, and she said, I'm not a smoker anymore. And she started saying that to herself, I don't smoke, I'm not a smoker. And that's rewiring your brain by telling yourself that's not something what I do. So yeah, that's helpful as well. And then reducing down, because nicotine's physically addictive. So try and get the lesser nicotine, or you can go for nicotine patches and stuff like that, substitute as well. But I would try and get rid of your habit cigarette first. So for me, when I quit smoking cigarettes, the first amber leaf rollie I would have, which I loved, was when I got in the car. For any time I drove, and it was the first thing I did after I ate. So get rid of those habits first and try and get a bit of control. If you fancy a cigarette, push it back half an hour. I hope that was helpful. I'm not answering that, Twilight. Not for you, that's for my boyfriend. Right. What are this stream about? I've literally stopped because I find you beautiful. Thank you. So the stream is about addiction, but also mental health. I'll answer any questions around those, and not questions like what Twilight's been asking. Right, Cormac. Have you ever had such thoughts like, if I don't cross that tree before the car, I would die? If I don't cross that tree before the car. Oh, like intrusive thoughts. Yeah, that's like it's slightly. I was thinking about this today, actually. I have a couple of intrusive thoughts. So you can frame it as OCD if it's intense, like intrusive thoughts as part of OCD. For me, I think it's just been autistic. There can be fear. So I have an intrusive thought, which comes up with every bipolar episode I have. It's a really weird one as well. Like, I question my sexuality every time. And it's so funny. It's like a running joke now. Like that one time when Ashley was gay, and it's just like a thread that comes up, an intrusive thought. And it's the way that I deal with intrusive thoughts, or I would say to somebody with OCD, is to think about your intrusive thought and then just take the sting out of it. So first of all, take that thought to court. So what's the evidence for it, but also what's the evidence against it? And then decide where you sit on that. If there's a lot of evidence against it, for instance, there's a lot of evidence that I'm not gay, then that's the route that I'm going to take. And then what I do is you just disarm it by saying, I'm not putting up with that nonsense. Not today, not dealing with that nonsense today, and just laugh about it. And it's just a way of creating a new neural pathway that when I think about that, I acknowledge the ridiculousness of it. It's not evidence-based, so I'm not going to give it attention. But spend that time trying to take your thoughts to court first. Because, you don't, if I was gay, it would be a bit shame to like shun that part of it. So I had to challenge, right, what's the evidence for and against? So yeah. So yeah, I do have thoughts like that. Not the same as the car, but like, honestly, I have so many intrusive thoughts, but I just disarm them. Internally secure rocker. Ashley, would it help if we requested everyone to put their questions all caps so you can see them better? That would be helpful. Would you mind putting that in so I can pin it? And would you, internally secure rocker, do you mind just asking you another favour? Would you mind just saying if anybody has any questions that I missed, just comment on my content I've already posted and I'll pick them up. Right. David from the future. Hello, future person. Right. Like homeless people. Is there something that I've missed? Or that feels like it's coming, unless you, right, if somebody's replying to something I've said, once it's said, it's gone, no longer in my brain. So you just need to put the context first so that I can see what you're replying to. Right. So this person's talking about smoking for anyone who's joined. I started smoking when I was 12, now 21. When I first started was teenage and so dumb. Yeah, I started when I was 12 as well, so dumb. The thing is, so there's something called the normalization theory, and it's actually around drugs, but it applies to everything with teenagers. One of our key things is to fit in with our peers, and if our peers are smoking, guess what? We're going to be doing it. If our peers are taking drugs, we're going to be experimenting with drugs. So yeah, but 21's a great age to stop a habit because your neuroplasticity is wild. So if you stop a habit now, you'll find it easier than me at 36 who's now having to quit. So you absolutely can do it. I've got every faith in you. Pin message. Thank you, Attorney Secure Rocker. I was watching a Vida saying pet yesterday. I love it. My southern friends all call us pet. We call each other pet. Do you know what somebody said? I don't know how true this is. But someone said apparently they're trying to say that you shouldn't call people pet because it's like demoralizing to women, calling them pet. I'm like, oh, get real. Honestly, this woke crap, like, grow up, will you? Grow up and get over it. Oh, God. Nobody, what do the numbers mean on your hand? So this is a manifestation that I got tattooed when I was 35. It was to find my life purpose. And this one is 13, is the age where, this is my spirituality. These are spiritual significant ages at 13, 29 and 33. Daniel. Hi, Daniel Gannon. How you doing? How would you deal with homelessness if you're being discharged and haven't relapsed, but your time is up and there's no residential care to stop you from going back to the drug environment? Oh, I hate the state of homelessness. I remember this has changed, but I remember having a conversation with someone who was homeless and they were living outside where I used to work. And they were saying that basically they couldn't get a bank, which means now NatWest do let you have banks, but you couldn't get a bank, which means you couldn't get a job, which means you couldn't get a house, which means you couldn't get universal credit. It's disgusting. They charge 15 quid an hour in Newcastle to stay in a hostel. 15 quid an hour, that's more expensive than my rent in the north. It's disgusting. How would I deal with that if I was homeless? I don't know, because I don't know what systems are available. I only know that NatWest do a bank, so you could get universal credit. I don't know if universal credit will even let you do that with a bank, though. Probably not. I don't know. I wish I had that answer, but I've not looked into it. Scottish is from Newcastle. I am. I've been called Australian. I was going to say Swedish. No one's ever called us Swedish. Australian, Scottish, Welsh. Oh, loads of them. Nobody. Relapse is part of recovery for most. Oh my God. Yes, I relapsed about 100 times before I'm here sitting here saying that I'm sober. Relapse is part of the process and we need to see it as that and not berate ourselves. But what we can do is learn, lick our wounds. So if we've relapsed and we think, I don't have the strength to get up, that's okay. Lick your wounds, but have a plan for getting out. And that plan, the key is in your relapse. Why did I relapse? What could I do differently? And think of every relapse as an opportunity to think, to strategize, okay, that didn't work. Sometimes we have to fail a lot of times to get to where we want to be. Like even just doing this YouTube, it's doing really well. And for somebody who's watching, you'd think, God, she's just natural at talking to a screen. I'm not. I've been practicing on all different social media and doing shit. Like everything you need to practice. And it's the same with recovery. You need to practice things. And sometimes that's losing. And that's where we get our biggest wins, providing we don't let it keep us down. We just get knocked down, lick our wounds, learn the lesson, get back up again. And you'll build resilience and strength and praise yourself. Every failure is an opportunity. And then when you pick yourself back up, that's the time to really praise yourself the most. Right, let's see. Eternally secure rocker. With OCD, remember to tell yourself the truth that over 90% of what we fear doesn't come true. Yeah, it doesn't. And the stuff that does come true, the stuff that really rocks the boat, is the stuff that we've never thought about. The stuff that really destabilizes us is the stuff like, fuck, like, how did that even happen? So there's no point in fearing what could happen. It's about, if we're going to have an anxious thought, instead think, okay, that's counterproductive, because I'm never going to be able to think about what could happen, but instead build resilience. So think, okay, I'm anxious in case that might happen. How can I build resilience in myself today, now, and get better and stronger and be able to handle my emotions better? Do you know what I mean? I think emotional regulation is key to any mental health issue, including addiction. Mista, I've relapsed so many times. Once after 8 years. Now I'm almost 3 years clean. Yeah, to me, that's unreal. And you've passed the 2-year mark, so your brain will be recalibrated. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I wonder, Mista, and you don't have to say, but was there something that happened after that 8 years that triggered it? Because when we relapse, there's usually a trigger, especially if we're well into our recovery. Or another thing can be is we've moved the crutch, which is addiction, and we've not built resilience and self-love in ourselves to sustain that. So as soon as something happens, it rocks the boat and we're like, whoa, we've relapsed, because we can't manage things without that addiction. Because addiction really is the solution. It's got a purpose. So yeah. Right, I'm going to scroll about and go in the middle and end of comments so everyone has a fair chance. 2 of the worst addictions are legal, alcohol and nicotine. I would definitely say, David Nutt, he organised addictions and he got scrutinised and actually kicked out of his role in UK policy because of this, because he moved nicotine and alcohol much higher up the list, and he moved ecstasy and acid and psilocybin down the list. The 2 top ones actually are heroin and cocaine's more for crack cocaine. But what I would say is crack and heroin is not as pushed in your face and as accessible as alcohol and nicotine. It just has more dire consequences. So yeah, alcohol is so hard. Right. Let's see, what else? I don't know what your name is. You're getting called System. My brain can't read these random names. Why not do some hard crafted work or read a book or cook something good to eat instead of doing this streaming thing? Well, I do read books. I do have hard crafted stuff, but I just enjoy it. Like, realistically, why are we not all doing what we love? Why we're not all doing something that we love and we enjoy and is making a difference? I think that's a win-win-win. So you go cook and then tell us how it was. Yeah. What a thing to write on that. I do cook. Actually, I don't. I've stopped cooking. I realised I was missing a few meals in my hypomanic episode, so I've started getting meal prep. I've done the cooking thing. I can't be arsed with it. Can't be arsed with that. Give it to somebody who's good at cooking. One of the humans, your stream is very helpful. Haters can suck it. I don't mind the haters. I find I'm tongue in cheek. Haters can come on. It's something for everyone to do. That's the funniest thing ever. Oh God, she's a happy, beautiful person. Thank you. She doesn't do it for attention. No, I mean, look, I just enjoy it. I'm actually just a little know-it-all in my profession, and I think everybody around us is sick of listening to my facts. It's like this is a place I can come and spit facts, and people can take it or leave it. But my friends all joke because they always say, I'll go like, and did you know? And did you know? And I just spit facts for fun. So yeah. Oh, B-Run, I need a babysitter this upcoming Friday. Can I drop them at your place somewhere I can be around 8 p.m, thanks? Do you mean on my live stream? You can drop them to come watch me live stream. I'll be on at 9. And by the way, Fridays are my mum-free days. I clock out of babysitting my own Ben. Anyways, I'm addicted to procrastination and I'm hating myself because of it. Any tips? Oh my God, I am such a procrastinator in things I don't like. There's different reasons why people procrastinate. So I'm autistic and ADHD. So for me, it's I need a dopamine response. Another thing is people can and I've done this, is if you don't believe you can do it. So you need to work out, why am I procrastinating? What's the thing that puts us off doing this? And a lot of things for me is if I'm just not interested in it, like the cooking thing. This is why I'm doing streaming instead of cooking. It was always a chore, and then when I was like putting it off, like I was skipping meals because I was putting off cooking. So now I just outsource it and I focus on my strengths and scaffold my weaknesses. But it might be that there could be so many different reasons why we procrastinate. What it is essentially is our brains are either not motivated by dopamine, which is our reward neurotransmitter. It's the chemical that makes us pursue things. So we're not really interested in pursuing it. Or it could be that you're going in freeze mode, like fight, flight, freeze, fawn. So it could be that there's some fear around it. So yeah, look at why it might be. And the great thing is you can procrastinate by looking up procrastinating, which can be really fun for you. Go on rabbit holes whilst you're procrastinating about why you procrastinate. Right. Yeah, I feel full of energy. I've been on a bipolar crash. I feel like I've got my life back. That's fun. Anyways, what was your drug of choice, if you don't mind me asking? Love from the United States. Is 7-O legal there in the UK? I don't know what 7-OH is. They have different names, though. Things in different... I don't know what 7-OH is, unless it's like some kind of slang for weed. But yeah, my drug of choice was ketamine. It was, and to be honest with you, I probably still would be. I like, it's sedative. It used to sedate my mind. My mind's really crazy. It was like dreamlike, a little bit like trippy. So yeah, stay clear out of that, Ashley Bloxham. Right. Modern woman, her translation, online all day and orders out for food. Exactly. Exactly. And proud. To be fair though, I wasn't hitting enough nutrients as well because I'm vegetarian. So, and I love meat, I really do. I nick it off people's plates all the time, but I don't want to put into the economy. And I wasn't hitting nutrients, and I was trying to, and skipping meals and being a single mom. It just wasn't working for us. I'd get supplements, forget. So I used something called Planty, and they basically, it hits all my nutrients and makes sure I'm getting all the right carbs and whatever, all that bollocks. Can I say the word no? No. Yes, I can say no. Probably one of the first words I learned, if I'm reflected on my son who's 4, always say no. Right. What are you into if you took that in? Were you wild, if you get what I mean? If I took what in? What do you mean? Was I wild? I was out of control, off the Richter scale wild, me. I was really bad. I was just like, honestly, out of control to my own detriment when I was a kid. So impulsive, constantly wrecked and pissed and just and high functioning as well on it. Absolute liability. It's water. Hey, 36 or 38. Yeah, I'm 36. What was I addicted to? Ketamine. But mind-altering substances, I was addicted to just anything. Like, I went through different mini addictions. Ketamine was one that really got us and scared the fucking bejesus out of us. If anyone's had an addiction, you'll know what that feels like, where you're like, oh no, oops, don't know if I can stop this. Am I going to end up living on the streets? I don't know. Looking possible. Luckily, guys, if you are feeling like that, you absolutely can avoid that situation. Foxy blew me away, couldn't walk. Yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted. I wouldn't recommend taking it, guys. But to be honest with you, I never stop. I think this is where I say with addiction, it's really important to think about what purpose is that addiction serving. Like, I never stop. I've got no off switch because I'm neurodivergent. So I think it just chilled my brain and body out. So it was, my brain and body was like, thank God, I'm sedated. So the not walking was probably good for us, but just not a long-term solution, to say the least. Never understood ketamine. Yeah. It's just, everybody has their own drug of choice. Like, people that sit there and go like, why would you take heroin? And I'm sure somebody who's been addicted to heroin can tell you exactly what it is about heroin for why they're addicted. And I think ketamine's quite a shameful one. Like, people, when you tell them you've had a ketamine addiction, they're like, ugh. If you tell them you've got a weed addiction, people seem to be a lot more understanding. Right, when did ketamine start becoming scary? Because, as you would know, the paranoia isn't present on K. So I wasn't scared of ketamine. I loved ketamine. Let's get real. If we've got an addiction, we love it. Like, give me more. I'm a fiend. So there was no part of ketamine which was scary. What was scary was the fact that my bladder was starting to get scar tissue around it and wasn't working. And I knew that that is a one-way trip to having a catheter. That's quite scary. Another thing was I was like, couldn't stop. Even though I was pregnant, I relapsed in my pregnancy. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a mother who's addicted. That was really scary. Then I was relapsing when I had a child, and I was like, oh my God, social services are going to come in and I can't stop. That's really scary. So it wasn't the ketamine which was scary. It was how much I loved ketamine that was scary, if that makes sense. For me, it's energy, but yet helps me focus and get things done. Slightly calming at the same time. T-Wolf, what gives you energy and calming at the same time? That's exactly what ketamine was like for me. And actually, let's be real, it's not the ketamine which makes you focus and calm, it's the dopamine. So it's dopamine that we're addicted to in psychological drugs, and then the feeling, but it's the dopamine. Dopamine makes us feel laser focused, it's motivating, it's pleasurable, it's rewarding. So it's actually our own biochemicals in our brain that the drug's biohacking. So just the same way a prescription drug will biohack a chemical, like create a chemical reaction, so does drugs, and it's dopamine, guys. And if it's like things like cocaine, they all have slightly different things that they do to the brain. That's why I say, like, what is it about that specific drug? Because it'll have a function in your brain, and you need to try and learn how to access that function with things that aren't destroying your life and your relationships and your body. Dopamine is sublime. Yes, everybody loves a bit of dopamine. I love dopamine. Find something where you get dopamine from, which is good. I get dopamine from this and from learning and jiu-jitsu and loads of different things. So find your own little dopamine stuff and make a dopamine list. So if you're coming out of addiction, or just find all these different things that give you dopamine. Also, if you're coming out of addiction, dopamine is going to deplete. So there's going to be a window where basically when we flood our brains with dopamine, which is drugs, alcohol, smoking, porn, gambling, what happens is our dopamine receptors downregulate if we flooding it regularly. So we need to wait for that to recalibrate. So in today's live this morning, what I spoke about was Whilst dopamine's depleted in early recovery, lean into oxytocin. And that's oxytocin is produced through connection to loved ones. This is called havening. It's a trauma therapy strategy where you can stroke your arms, or you can do this to your face, or you can do this with your hands, and it makes you produce oxytocin. If you've got a pet, cuddle them. So lean into oxytocin while you're waiting for your dopamine to recalibrate. Chris, how you doing? Just jumping on for a real quick to thank you for all the courage you show today, in the day and day out when battling addiction. It's a good fight and you should be proud. Keep getting after it. Yes, I love that. Chris is amazing. He's my faith-based moderator. Constantly put the world to rights, although with slightly different stances. I'm more spiritual. Rob, I'm 10 months clean. That is unreal. Love that for you. And your dopamine receptors will really be recalibrating now. What's the thing that you would, top tip you would give to other people who are struggling in active addiction right now, or early recovery, Rob? What's 7-OH? 7-OH is rubbish. It's a monster drug. I've never heard of it. I think this, well, from what I'm realising, so the first time I'm connecting with people who struggle with addiction or who are in recovery in the States. So there's a lot of different drugs, there's different names for things. So yeah, I don't know what 7-OH is. Sounds awful. Natural supplements and nutrition is so much better than drugs in general. Yeah, 100%. I always say my 4 pillars of what we need for addiction recovery, and I'm not going to bore everyone by going into too much detail, but the 4 pillars are professionals, because clearly if we're struggling in addiction, we don't have the answers. So professionals, but we also need our body, and this is all, everything I'm saying, I've explained the neuroscience in older lives, so I'll not do that now. But body, which is sleep, food, and help us out, guys, activity, connection, and the last one is mental well-being, our relationship with ourselves, essentially. And all of these different things are so much better than addiction, but you can pick any one of those 4 pillars and you can start just making micro adjustments in all of them. Atomic Habits is a great book which talks about how if you just make these like 1% micro improvements consistently, you're going to be the best. You're going to level up. So yeah. Right, okay, someone said a good thing. Mr. Sickick, do you think there's still a strong possibility you will relapse? The possibility of me relapsing, I think, is incredibly slim, because my life is so brilliant. I've got brilliant people, do things that I love. I've got such a good relationship with my mind, etc. I've got all of that. But I'll tell you how I would relapse. If something devastating happened where I lost everyone I loved, say for instance I got locked up and went to jail for something, I know for a fact I'd relapse. If something happened and I ended up living on the streets, I wouldn't even think twice. I would say give us the drugs, because if my life was devastated, that would be a better option. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be in a tsunami in Pelton, which is Durham and Newcastle, like the northeast of England. But if something devastating happened to my life, 100%. And we're all susceptible to that. That's how addiction starts in the first place, because of trauma. Foxy will always be there. I've got a devil and an angel on my shoulder. Yeah, definitely. My friend says she's got monkeys on her shoulder. And what we do is we just build up resilience and a life that we love and self-love, so that you're like, oh, go away, monkeys. Goodbye, devil. Not today. Can't be bothered with that nonsense. Because I get the thought, should I take Ket? And like, if I'm a little bit stressed, I'll be like, oh, my son's at his dad's this weekend. I'll get some Ket. And then I observe the thought and I'm like, no, we won't. We're not doing that. Don't be so silly, Ashley. I do allow myself though, if I go to festivals, it's a free-for-all. I've got a rule, I don't buy drugs if they come to me. I'll happily have some mushrooms or whatever floats my way, a key of anything. But to be honest with you, I've been to 2 festivals in like nearly 4 years of being sober. Right. Where are you from? I'm in South Shields. I went to school in South Shields. I went to Mortimer. I lived next to Chichester. Have you ever done coke? Yeah. So for me, what my addiction was, I was addicted to mind-altering substances, but every time I'd get like a little bit addicted, reliant on something, I'd switch it up to something. So throughout my 20s, I'd be addicted to weed a little bit. Didn't particularly like it, but I would wake and bake. Like I was having bongs every morning. And then I would be like, oh, that's getting too much. So then I'd switch it up, start drinking wine for a period. Then I'm like, oh, I'm drinking 2 bottles of wine a night. That's not cool. Then switch up to coke. And then the last one I switched up to was ketamine. And that wasn't, I couldn't switch up from ketamine. I was like, fuck, I'm stuck in ket now. So yeah, and I'm glad I got stuck in ket because I'm where I am now. But yeah, I've done coke and I've had it a couple of times since. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. It sends us loopy-loo. I'm not Irish, James. Well, everyone stop guessing me nationality. Oh, God. So I know it's none of my it is your business, Adrian. You're coming on an Addictions Live. I feel like you've got every right to ask us any questions, and I'm happy to answer. No shame here. So I've been sober for nearly 4 years. It'll be 4 years on the 3rd of February. And I've had ketamine, I can count on one hand. And for me, so I'm not fully abstinent. For me, I've got hard and fast rules, which is I'm allowed to take to festivals and music events because I rarely go to them. I've been, that count on one hand how many times I've took ket is the amount of times I've been to festivals. And the other rule is I don't go and buy it in preparation. It's if I come across it, and because I'm spiritual, I say if the universe sends it my way, I will take it. So yeah. And I've said no to it once as well, actually, when I was at a music event. So yeah. If drugs didn't send you loopy-loo, would you still use them? No, they would just destroy my life, Robin. Drugs would destroy my life. And for me, one of the things, so I just feeling every day I wasn't myself. I was numbing myself. So it wasn't the ketamine, it wasn't the coke or the weed. It was just, I never had a day in the whole of my 20s and early 30s where I was sober. I honestly can't remember a day where I didn't have at least a glass of wine. So, yeah, they didn't send us loopy-loo. They kept us grounded and sane. I am loopy-loo. I've got autism, ADHD and bipolar. They were self-medicating, and it was self-medicating PTSD and trauma and having a social battery which doesn't last very long in social situations and feeling uncomfortable in my own skin. Right, oxytocin. Who has that with you, Ash, is a lucky girl. I'm in a cheeky mood. What do you mean, Scarfy? Do you... Right, you might be in a cheeky mood, but like I'm not picking up what you're putting down, so it's wasted on us. Give a bit more context. Ez, hey, I'm still on the wagon, and it's now been 1 month since I quit cigs cold turkey. I'm clean from everything now. Oh, and you're still hot as fuck. Thanks. Thank you very much. So I want to ask you, how did you quit cigarettes cold turkey? What's your top tip? Right. Whoever's just said kiss me, I can't even pronounce your name. Like, get real. Like, there's a computer screen with it, so you can kiss your own screen. But I've got a boyfriend, guys. This is not where I would come to pick up boys. Like, I wouldn't go about it. I was quite successful on Hinge back in the day before I found my boyfriend. But yeah, not interested, but whatever. Scarphilia, 6 weeks tomorrow, cocaine clean. That's unreal. Sold my van, plabbed. I don't know if that's a typo. Fuck work, chasing money is a bad habit, people, trust me. You miss life and it's all glory. Yeah, I got sectioned and I was told I'm not able to work. So I was a very good counsellor. I've just got like mint pattern recognition and empathy, I think, because I'm autistic. But I just felt like it wasn't right and it was draining us. And when I got sectioned, I thought, like, right, I'm not allowed to work as a counsellor because it's unethical. I'm getting paid by the government. This is the perfect time to find out what do I want to do. And I've been on a little trail of different things and it's led us here. So yeah, just do what you love. And if you can't do it, look, we've all got responsibilities. Not everyone's as lucky to be sectioned like I was. Lucky. But we can still learn what we love in hobbies, and maybe something will come out of that, or we can think about what would I love to do and try and make little steps and strides towards it. We're not stuck in things we don't like. But 100% agree with Scarfilia. What does section mean? It means detained by law in a mental institution. Because I had psychosis. I was just absolutely psychosis is just a next level experience. Not cool. So I got sectioned for my own safety. Hey, scary stuff, the interweb. Yeah, I don't know who you're saying that to. I've just seen people have relationships with AI assistants, you know. Oh, I've got a relationship with my AI, you know. I call him my best mate. I hash everything out. I've written my book with AI. I'm not in a sexual relationship with it. But it's my best mate. I love it. It's so good. It's a good way. It's like, so I've got actually... So I did a podcast called The Tarot Therapist, and I was in partnership with somebody who invented an amazing AI app called Earkick, and it's a therapeutic AI app. And I got interviewed by the BBC about using AI therapy. And my verdict on it is it can be a great way to just hash out everyday life. It builds emotional intelligence, because if we talk to AI intentionally, as long as we've got some emotional intelligence, we can start to understand parts of ourselves. And do you know what it is? If you're dealing with addiction and you've got shame around it, the thing with AI is it's non-judgmental, it empathizes, it pulls from everything, all information, and then it talks back to you and reflects your own inner world. It reflects it back to you, which is exactly what a therapist does. The only difference is a therapist can keep you safe, whereas AI isn't as good. But AI maps my bipolar, and it tells us when I'm having a bipolar episode. It says, is this hypomanic or not? It's brilliant. Ashley, I'm not saying you don't have a form of autism. What you're saying, all right, Ashley, I've worked with people with autism for over 25 years, and I don't know any of that. Have really laughed. I notice you do. Oh, I laugh at myself. Well, no, so I've been talking to AI today, about my thought patterns. And so I have web thinking. So it is autism, because I've just got me test and my results back yesterday, and they said I achieved maximum in all areas except organisation because of my ADHD. But I have something called web thinking. It's the same thing as what Elon Musk has. So I don't see... My friends all say I'm the smartest, thickest person they know. So the reason why I laugh is because I think about everything in like little webs, and I can see the funny side and stuff. So yeah, I think it's to do with that. It's a different type of autism, basically. I can't remember what AI said it was, but... Women all only have skin to offer, subtle but for non-simps can see through it, but you'll keep being fooled by this woman, could really careless about who you are, and she's here for the attention and sad those unaware. Right, my son fell asleep, guys. Like, get over yourself, is what I have to say that. So my son fell asleep and I was like trying to sneak and get ready in the dark with these little tiny fairy lights, and I just grabbed things from my wardrobe. Also, I wear what I want to wear and what I feel empowered by, because for me, it's so important that I'm not doing things for men. I'm doing it for me, and I'm not also not doing for something for men. Is part of that is doing and wearing and saying what I like, not because I don't want to offend men because I'm too sexual, or I don't want to offend men or objectify myself with men. I do things for me. So I couldn't care less. I've got my belly out, which is bloated, couldn't care less. I just don't care. But yeah. So, I don't know how you say hi girl, haven't seen you on here for weeks. So glad to see you, girl. Thank you. It's nice to see you again as well. So I've been going live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m, 9 p.m. GMT time. So I'll be on live every time then. It's been nice to see you again. T-Wolf, yeah, I'm my boyfriend, chill, guys. Get real, T-Wolf, you wish. My boyfriend's unreal. Mrs. is not OnlyFans. I know that. I'm not getting paid. Not getting paid, guys. Speaking of which, if anyone could give us a subscribe, that would be super helpful. Right, let's see what other people are saying. Has anyone got any questions around mental health and addiction? Because, look, we're getting off track here. Let's keep this reined in. Scarfy, bless you, Ashley. Answers are true and educated true, not book true. Thank you. Yeah, anything I speak about, most of it I've just tried and tested on myself. I'm the biggest crank of all. I've been the biggest fuck up and I've had to sort it out myself. So I feel like when you've lived it, this is why I had somebody a few lives ago really questioning my credentials. And I said it's the only time I'll go through from top to bottom. But like the reason why I'm qualified to sit here talking is because I've been schooled in addiction the legit way and came out the other end. So yeah, my addiction was ketamine, Burgo. I can't get off the pain pills. It's a living nightmare. 15 years on and off. Is it opiates? Dirty damn. This is a problem. Like we think that prescription medications we think because there's a professional prescribing them that they're okay, and they're just not. I had physical withdrawal from quetiapine, which is an antipsychotic and mood stabilizer, and it was getting to 10 o'clock where I was meant to take my pill, and if I was out with my friends and I didn't have my tablet, I started rattling like heroin. It was a really scary place to be in. Yeah, opiates, oxy, and now Fend. Oh, Dirty, if you want some support, comment on any of my content, and you can make it discreet. Just say, can I email you, or support, or whatever, and I get a notification. So any of my shorts or lives I've already posted. I've got somebody who has gotten through opiate addiction, and she's absolutely mint, and she'll help anyone. And then I can also work with you as well to get you in the right places. And I'm also doing a free addiction group. So if anyone's struggling with addiction and they're in dire straits, comment on my content and I will pick it up, because I know this is alive, and if people need some absolute help, I'm here. I don't charge. That's why I need some subscribers, guys, because I want YouTube to pay so that I can help people for free. So yeah, I'll give you a one-to-one phone call and I'll put you in touch with somebody else who also works for free and is also mint. But for anybody who's in the live, whilst we're here, in case they don't want to comment on my content, who's gotten through opiate addiction and who has some advice that I can read out to support them? Not for you to know. I was an alcoholic and I've recently realised that I was drinking in order to cope with underlying and untreated ADHD. It was what made me feel slightly right, and it's hard to get what's needed. Yeah. That was I think a big part of my addiction was trauma, unprocessed trauma and undiagnosed mental health disorders. Mike, can I help you? In what context, Mike? I don't know how you're offering to help. Or if you're offering to help somebody else. Let us know a little bit more context, please. Right, way to Toronto. I quit smoking cigarettes February of 2020 and I still want one every day. Shit sucks. Oh my God, yeah. This is the thing, like, look, I'm not going to sit here and claim to know what it feels like to quit smoking because I still vape and it's next on my list. I do know that I've quit ketamine, and the thing with ketamine is it's psychologically addictive. I mean, it was addicted to the dopamine response, but it wasn't chemically addictive. I've been chemically addicted to quetiapine, but I didn't have the psychological addiction. So I'll come back and talk to you when I'm qualified way to Toronto, because I'm not done it yet. And I like to be real, just like, yeah. What's your top tips for me, though, Quanto? Right, do you have anything at all now, Mr. Sissick? Yes, I already said so. I have hard and fast rules. So one of the first things I learned, I did this thing called a training course for addiction when I was working for an organisation called Blue Light. It's really good. And the first thing I learned was that abstinence isn't always the route that people take. So we don't always say, I'm never going to do that. So for me, I had to stabilise. And for me, I thought, right, if I go to festivals or music events with legit DJs, I've had to make hard and fast rules, aka they can't seep into, well, I was at the local workingmen's club and there was a DJ there, so I can have it. So for me, it's hard and fast rules, and that's festivals and music events. And look, I've been to about 5 festivals and music events since I've quit my addiction, and it works for me. And I've got a friend actually I was at the festival with, and she had a ketamine and MDMA addiction, and we were both talking about how it's so nice, like nearly 4 years later, to go and get wrecked and not feel that pull and know that you're going to be fine after. It feels like I've got control over something that had control over me. And I fell in love with drugs through living in Ibiza, because I did 4 seasons. So yeah, but also I've got to be real, like I don't have access to ketamine. So with smoking, I've quit for a while. And then I'm like, oh, I can just have one. I'm on holiday, straight back into smoking. So you've got to know yourself if you're gonna do hard and fast rules, and it's like whether you want to take that risk. I think I've just built up such a resilience and I've got a 4-year-old and stuff. So yeah. Are you a redhead? Yeah, it's not as ginger as it used to be though when I was a kid. I used to be like not a carrot orange. It was like a brownie orange, a ginger. It was quite nice actually. It's gone more brown with old age. Right. My advice is to do all the things at once. Read the book, take the Wilburton Shantex, eat frozen tortoise rolls when you can, have a craving, and whatever else you think might help. It took me several tries. Yeah, that is it with addiction. You've just got to say, right, I'm going to do whatever it fucking takes to get out of it. And if you fail, you're going to dust yourself up and you're going to learn the lesson, learn what you can and can't do. And this is what I was talking about with, you know, I fell off the wagon with smoking. I know that when I quit smoking, I am not allowed to let nicotine touch my lips ever. No, not happening. Not when drunk, not in a holiday setting, never. So it's about, because it's too easy. So this is the thing with ketamine with me, is ketamine couldn't slot back into my life, smoking can. That's why I keep falling off the wagon, because I keep kidding myself into thinking I can stop. And also I've smoked since I was 12. So it's just, yeah, it's about learning. Sometimes we learn the hard way, guys. Be careful if, yeah, BZ, be careful if you're quitting drinking and you drink a lot. Yeah, it can be fatal, guys. So important what is just said. This is why it's helpful for professionals. But if you don't want to go to a professional, I would always say, advocate, go to a professional. They're not going to judge and they're going to know at least harm reduction. But if you don't want to, learn absolutely everything about your addiction, because to stop benzocaines and alcohol, it's fatal. Somebody drew a different thing to my attention, which is fatal as well. So you can't, and I had drug-induced psychosis off stopping ketamine. We should reduce down is a good way. Yeah, Kevin Simpson, benzos and alcohol are dangerous, cold turkey seizures. Yeah, so with alcohol, and this is the thing, this is why it's good to do a detox or do it in a service. But if you're one of these people, because look, I don't want to tell people how to stop. I will always advocate for services, but at the very least, learn your addiction inside out, learn recovery, use AI to help you. If you really don't know, hash it out with AI, like every single facet of it. What's the potential risks? What's the best way to do it? And if you don't want to go to services, go to groups, guys. Because a group like an AA group or an NA group, you'll have loads of people in that group who've been where you are. And I will say again, I'm always going to advocate for services, because I quit something which on paper isn't dangerous, and I ended up having drug-induced psychosis, and, you know, it is dangerous, guys, to just stop without people. But I was in a counsellor before and I stopped by myself, so I don't want to... I'm trying to be real and professional at the same time, if you get what I mean. Yeah, Tommy, I did it alone. This is what I mean. People are doing it alone. I'll always say services, but at the very least, harm reduction at the heart of it, guys. And that's why I'm trying to be real, because I don't want to cut people out who... My purpose here isn't to push people into services, it's harm reduction. And harm reduction is learning about your addiction in yourself. Yeah, but Tommy's saying, my son's called Tommy. Sorry, just a little appreciation for your name. He's named after the Tommy soldiers, like British soldiers. But anyways, I digress. I can't be around ex-users, says Tommy. Yeah, I can't. I had to cut out my friends who were using. It was the sad truth. Now, I can be around people who drink. I've quit drinking. I can be around people who drink, but I've built up my prefrontal cortex. I've been working day in, day out on strengthening, which is like... So like our prefrontal cortex, I say this all the time, so sorry for repeating myself to those who aren't new, but your prefrontal cortex is in charge of impulse control and rational thinking. So if you can do things to strengthen your prefrontal cortex, you'll find it easier. So now I don't struggle having a drink around people because that's so online. So how do we strengthen our prefrontal cortex? Mindfulness, metacognition, which is the art of thinking about thinking. So self-analysis, analysis of how we show up in situations, and also nervous system regulation I've worked on a lot, which is breathing, relaxing your body, your jaw. It's counteracting how we feel when we're tense and anxious. Right, let's see what other people are saying. Someone's just said, lazy rabbit, I was addicted to oxydones for 6 years, 6+ years clean. That's unreal. That is some shift. You're outshifting me. So what would you say, since you're a recovery veteran, to anyone who's listening? Oh, Forte goes on. I've just seen you. I haven't seen your notifications, but I can see you moderating. Thanks, Fortigo. And hello. Thanks to all me mods. I know yous are on here. Yous are lost in the comments. Right, has anyone got any questions around addiction and mental health? And if anyone's watching, please subscribe. It's super helpful and it's free. Right, James, do you have any ideas how to break my alcohol addiction? I drink good wine, at least 15 quid a bottle, but I'm drinking 10 bottles per week, functioning alcoholic. James, yeah, I think that's why people were saying about don't just stop drinking. James, if you want, I'll give you a free one-to-one. Anyone who's struggling and doesn't know, I'm offering my time for free for people in dire straits. Just comment on any of my content, support or emailers, and I get a notification and I try my best to answer all of them. I do answer. There's 2 people slipped through the net by accident. I don't know how. So yeah, but alcohol, it's really important that if we're doing alcohol, and I'd say this is my approach that I took to ketamine, and I'd say, I'm not going to tell you how to do your recovery, but certainly for dangerous drugs, or if you're struggling, is reduce down. So alcohol, and you can apply this to anything. I'm going to use alcohol, but if you have a bottle of wine, tip a bit out. Go down to a lower percentage. So just little things, just be careful. You need to do it with a professional, realistically, but I can work with you and get something in place to harm reduction for you. Adam Cook, I'm sure I've seen you here before, Adam. Hello. If you haven't, hello. Pregabalin can help with opiate withdrawal, BZD withdrawal and alcohol withdrawal. Works on pre-axonal transmitter, so it catches the serotonin transmission points that get frazzled by usage. Yeah, and I'd work with this is where services can help. The thing with pre-gabs is I know loads of people who are addicted to them. So it's really important that, you know, we've got people working with us and it's in a controlled environment. So yeah, but I don't know which. There's a lot of different things you can have. A lot of different medications can help with different things, and yeah. Oh, Matt, sorry to hear that. Let's find Matt. Thanks, Attorney Secure Rocker. I'm just gonna call you Rocker or Secure. I feel like you're quite a secure person. Right, where's Matt? I'm struggling, fucked big time. Yeah, Matt, I'm really sorry to hear that. And trust us, I've been struggling and fucked big time as well. Hopefully I can offer you a roadmap to get out of it, and I can do that in 2 ways. I'm doing an addiction support group free, and it's starting very soon. I'm just waiting for me YouTube studio to get a carpet laid, hopefully this week. So I'll be starting in 1 to 2 weeks. In the meantime, I can do a one-to-one with you free of charge. Just comment on any of my shorts or lives that I've already posted and I'll get a notification and pick it up. But yeah, I know if anyone's feeling just fucked and stuck, this is what every single person who's ever been in recovery has felt. So I'm saying I'm not going to sugarcoat addiction recovery for you, because it's hard as fuck. Everybody feels fucked. Everybody feels like they can't do it. And it is solid to do it until you've done it. And then you're like, God, that last time actually wasn't as hard. So I'm not going to sugarcoat addiction recovery, because if I do and I say, oh, it's easy, then you're going to sit there thinking, well, if it's so easy, why can't I do it? But what I will say is that time that you finally do it and you push through and you've got the right people around you to hold you and you've got the right tools, you will find it much easier than you ever thought it would be. It'll still be hard, but it'll be easier than you thought, because at the moment you're thinking it's impossible. And what you'll find is it's hard, but it's doable. But you need the right people, the right resources. You need to stabilize yourself first. And I can give you the roadmap to anyone who wants it free of charge, because I've been where you are. And Matt and anyone listening, it's so doable. I promise you. It's just at the moment, there's something that's inhibiting you, and also you don't have the right resources and tools. So if we work on both of those same things simultaneously, you can get it, because you need to attack addiction and mental health from all angles, not just one. And often we're just thinking, I'll stop. That's not the route. It's not I'll stop. There's so many different things that you need to snuff addiction out with. Seth, I'd like to talk. Yeah, comment. Secure, do you mind? Secure, do you mind putting a comment saying, comment if you want free support to comment on any of my existing content, and I'll pin it so people can see. Scarfield, people being rude and I haven't even noticed anyone being rude or disrespectful. I don't care though, to be honest with you. If it's bringing people joy, and it's like, that's fine. I'll spread the joy. Have some joy, everyone. You can have it at my expense, because at the end of the day, me skin's thick. I've got thick skin. And also, I'll get that many comments. I don't see half of them. I'm just driving us out to the right people, so they're helping. Jake, can we talk about the geopolitical and economic state of the world right now? What does geopolitical mean? I've never came across that word. I love learning a new word. But economic state of the world, I mean, oh God. Tell us what geopolitical means, and then I'll give you a little, whatever my brain comes up with. Because I love questions. I love putting the world to rights. Me and my dad are going to do a podcast on politics. I can't wait, actually. It's going to be good fun. Right. I'm in depression now, feeling so lonely. Should I have a girlfriend to get me out of this traumatical situation? Good question. So, we often hear things like, you need to be healed to be in a relationship. Relationships don't solve our problems. You should be happy, learn to be happy on yourself. There's truth in both sides. We are actually wired up to be with people. Look at evolution, guys. And the problem is, if we're not, we don't need to be healed to be in a relationship. I've been doing heaps of healing in my relationship. I've never been so triggered and realizing so many fucking unhelpful thought patterns, traits, behaviours as I've had in this last 7 months of getting to know the lad I'm seeing. Honestly, it's been eye-opening. I've taken a battering. My ego has been bruised to bits. So we don't need to be healed. But what we do need is, we need enough emotional intelligence and the ability to take a battering of the ego before we enter a relationship. So I'd say a relationship, if you want one, could be really healing. And also, I'm just saying, just because it's biology, that doesn't mean we need to be in relationships before anyone calls us out. I'm just talking about evolution. But if you want to be in a relationship, what I'd suggest is you prepare yourself, which is working on your emotional intelligence. And then make a list of what you want in somebody. What's the traits you'd want? And instead of trying to find them, perfect those traits in yours. If you want somebody who is emotionally intelligent, sharpen your emotionally intelligent. If you want someone who doesn't judge, make sure you judging other people. And the other thing I'd say is treat dating like a social gymnasium. That's what I did. Go in, try dating, pay attention to your body, learn lessons. Is this someone I want to be with? Is it not? And just use it as an opportunity to learn stuff about yourself. And that can be just as fun and healing as being in a relationship. Yeah, Scarfilia, PS, 2 junkies in a relationship is a non-starter. Good luck, all and. Yeah. So this is, thank you, Scarfilia. I was on a side quest then. To bring it back, if you've got depression, being in a relationship can be great for healing, but you need to work on your depression as well. So have it as a goal you're working towards, and think about, okay, if I'm going to be in a healthy relationship, I need to learn what's going on and causing the depression, and just try and think about, okay, I'm getting relationship ready and work on that. And it absolutely, 2 junkies in a relationship is not good. No. It's not helpful. 100% agree with that. And I'm not saying this to shame junkies in relationships, but 100% true. Yeah, totally right. 2 sick people, addiction is no success, no matter how long you clean. Yeah, I've learned the hard way. I'm not about relationships, but in general, I could never have any kind of relationship with somebody who does ket, ever. Not a friend, not a parent. None of my parents take ket, but just the one in all relationships. So like, I'm talking about alcohol or whatever. If it's your drug of choice, it's your addiction, you can't be in a relationship with somebody with it, because you're just going to end up, if somebody's sniffing ket in front of me day in, day out, I will fall off the wagon. Okay, I'm at a point now where they'll be booted out, but if that scenario was ever to happen. I'm addicted to mature women. I think a mature woman, like, this is just preference, not addiction, guys. What is the best medicine on the planet? I'll tell you what it is. Self-love. So woo-woo, but so grounded in neuroscience research. That's what my book's on. It's on about using love of self and others, and it's all the biology and neuroscience behind it, and psychology. So if we love ourselves and we love others, that looks like giving ourselves grace, giving others grace. It looks like, this is why it works. If we unconditionally love ourselves and other, and that's like animals, everything, other is just everything else, the world. What we do is it's a biofeedback loop. So if we learn to love others unconditionally, it'll be easier to love ourselves. If we learn to love ourselves unconditionally, it'll be easier to love others. And what does that mean? It means relationships improve. It means we learn how to work on our own shame. It's like, I love myself and I give myself grace, which means I can start to heal unhelpful patterns. I can accept unhelpful patterns in others, and I can put in boundaries. And let's be real, guys. We're human beings. We need connection. If we're starved of connection, we might as well be starving ourselves of oxygen. The only difference is it's a long-term killer. It won't kill you instantly. Just like a lack of water will kill you before food. Lack of connection, we're not supposed to be doing that alone, and we'll get hit by autoimmune diseases, cancers. Gabor Mate's book, The Myth of Normal, talks about this. Right, Tommy, I volunteer at a youth club that I got drug orders for young people. Oh, I don't understand what you mean by that, Tommy. Could you, sorry. Like, as my friends say, I'm the smartest, thickest person they know. I'm dyslexic, guys, so like I don't always read things. So can you reword that? Good point about lack of connection and giving yourself grace. Yeah, we have to accept I'm a human, and being human is messy. We make mistakes. We haven't got a fucking clue what we're doing. We're operating on outdated systems and beliefs which are generational, and they're embedded in policy, and it's a shambles. Being a human being is a fucking shambles. It's a shit show. And as soon as we accept that I'm a shit show, you're a shit show, we're all shit shows, let's just have fun with it, because we'll only live once, the easier life becomes. Honestly, it really does. You get to just put in boundaries and just forgive and let go. You just get to realise people aren't intentionally hurting you. The people who hurt us the most are the most fucked up. Our biggest mistakes are because we're fucked up. It's all in one big shit show. Let's just like have a laugh at it. Not take it too seriously. Vertigo, interesting, I never knew that. Let's see what Vertigo is saying. A lack of connection leads to neurodegenerative diseases as well. That makes sense. I didn't know that, but it leads to a lot of stuff. Like, it's actually what happens is we're supposed to survive in a tribe. So if you look at, I forget what you call it. It's escaped my brain, but it's basically where you look at our ancestors. Is it anthropology? I feel like that's wrong. Anyways, it's semantics. So what happens is we're built for survival. So if we get segregated from our group, what happens is we're in extreme fight or flight because we're meant to co-regulate. Everyone will have different circadian rhythms. Everyone sleeps at different times. And that's because that means we've got some people awake while some people are asleep. We aren't supposed to be living as a one-man band. Honestly, we're just not. We're not even supposed to be living as two people in a little tiny box. So what happens is if we get separated from our tribe, we're in constant fight or flight, which means we're flooding our bodies with cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and it's so bad to be in a constant state of fight or flight that our bodies stop functioning as properly. We stop getting rid of malignant cells, cancer. We can't digest properly. Like, that's why we have IBS, all these different things. It just affects our bodies on every single level. And that's why we're all riddled with mental health disorders. We're all riddled with disease because we're not connected and we're getting starved of something that we need to survive. We really need it. And all the research says this, plain and simple. Yet we're getting prescribed a pill. And as somebody who was prescribed a pill, when you're sedated the eyeballs, I wasn't connected. I was less connected. My friends said I was like a zombie. Again, I'm not saying don't take medication. Like, I was psychotic. I needed it at the time. But connection has definitely been a better thing to lean into. The Keir Starmer and the Ponce Party syndrome I suffer. Who's Keir Starmer? I don't follow mainstream stuff, me. I don't know who you're talking about. Kingdom. Hello, everyone. Remember that Jesus Christ loves you and wants to give him your heart and get to know you. Jesus is the answer to every question. Bless you all. So my grandpa was a vicar, so I say this with absolute respect for your faith, but this isn't a faith-based channel. But I will build on what you say, and we are also built for, there's reward circuits in our brains for specifically faith. And it doesn't need to be faith in a higher power, although I'm spiritual. It can be just in humanity, in planet Earth, in evolution. So yeah, I think having faith in something bigger than us is great. The Prime Minister, Ashman, shut up. That's so funny. I didn't even know that. I don't watch the news ever. I've gone red in the face. That's so funny. That's so funny. So I'm going to do I'm doing a political podcast with my dad, which we're going to start after Christmas. And the concept is he knows policy so much and I don't watch the news. And every time I go to my dad's, we talk about like some political thing and we'll just like banter off each other. I still feel myself red. That's quite cute. So yeah, I just don't know anything about current pop stars policy. Yeah, that's funny. Right, let's see what somebody else is saying. You help Tommy with people in youth with drugs. Bless you, Anna, blesses. And do you know what it is though? I've just got to a place where I accept I've got my strengths, I've got my weaknesses. Oh God. Right. I eat so much food but can't put weight on. I'm slim forever, it seems. JD, do you want to put weight on? I'm the opposite. I'm naturally curvy. I've just accepted it. I've learned to love myself. It wasn't bloody easy though, but I do now. Scarphilia, you've got worms. Yeah, I'm laughing. So I've literally convinced everyone in my friendship group that we all had worms. I was like, my son may or may not have worms, and I may or may not had worms, and I had worming tablets, and then I freaked everyone out for months thinking that I had worms. Honestly, I gave myself piles because I was going to the toilet that much, like obsessed with thinking I've got worms. It's so funny, we all laugh about it now. And even my friend, her daughter, was literally in Thailand, and my paranoia had spread over to Thailand, and she was like, I think I've got worms. And my friend was like, you haven't got worms, you've not even been around us. So I ended up going, because I was that freaked out and everyone was like thinking they had worms. I went to the doctors and I got a full parasite test and I do not have worms. It's so funny. But then we were like, well, what can we blame? Over tiredness and it, like feeling like shit on. Now we don't have imaginary worms. It's so funny. Right, I'm getting tired, guys. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go soon. I'll read 2 more comments out. I'm getting a bit delirious. Adam, alas, 99.9% of folk don't know that they are worshipping a Hebrew desert demon called, I don't know how you say that. Jesus resurrected means something different in the literalist meaning. I didn't know that. For me, I just believe that we're not supposed to know, but that's my belief. So I'm not here to dismantle people's beliefs, but every belief I've had, I've just like poked holes in. I did religious studies as well, and I had a philosophy teacher. It was religious philosophy, and what he said to us really hit home. He said, think of it like a moral compass. And he said, think of religious texts like fables, like the tortoise and the hare. It's supposed to teach us how to live a life in alignment with this moral compass. And it's in alignment with a humanity, like an idealistic human, not idealistic, what's the word? With an ideology of what a lush humanity would look like. And that was really helpful to me. Because my grandpa was a vicar, and I was like, well, I was thinking at a young age, like, well, if my grandpa's a vicar and he's very intelligent, then what's to say that there's not another intelligent, somebody who's, I don't know, some other kind, I can't think off the top of my head, my brain's starting to glitch, but like some other religion, and like a Buddhist or something. So it's like, it didn't quite work. Like, if you've got these really intelligent people, then how can both be right? And yeah, it just made us think like, maybe I'm not supposed to know. Oh, Joe, 1 week sober, excited to see how long I can go. Buzzing for you. Do you know what it is? You're in the trenches and you're still smashing it, honestly. And you've got 2 more weeks. Just keep on gunning through for 2 more weeks and your brain will start recalibrating. You'll start to feel good old dopamine from everyday life. But if you wanted some additional support, I do starting a free support group in about very soon. 3,000 gods, but they're all the right one. You're right, Anna. But I'm not laughing at it. Do you know what it is? I'm not here to discredit anyone's belief, because I think we're supposed to believe in something. We've got reward circuits for it in our brains, and it's so helpful. And for me, I say the big U, the universe. I talk to angels. I don't believe in angels, but it's just it's somewhere to transfer my faith and to hash things out with internally and keep us correct. Keep us on course and make us make bold moves, like going on YouTube doing tarot readings for the just put myself out there, because I'm like, I believe in a higher faith. I know I'm gonna get to where I'm meant to be, so if we can talk to dragons, if it gets you there and it makes your life great, that's what I say. Taylor is Jesus. I'm a Swiftie, a Taylor Swift person. So believe in Taylor Swift. Do whatever you need to do to live a happy life, guys. Anyways, that's me RE philosophy lesson over. I'm going to go, guys. Thanks so much for everyone who's joined. If you could subscribe, that would be so helpful. Thanks to my moderators. You've been amazing. And everyone who shows up as well. Like, I just say loads of regulars and I love it. Honestly, it's nice as well because I'm a single mom. And honestly, it is nice coming on because my son's asleep at my house 5 nights a week, and it's really nice to just come down and chat to you lot, and it's like making, I don't know, little virtual mates. I love it. We're all in it together. We're either in addiction, recovery, or just here to troll us, which and I'm here to laugh at you trolling us. So thanks, guys. And yeah, be back on, what day is it? Wednesday. I'll be back on Friday at 10 a.m, 9 p.m. GMT time. And yeah, bye.